Dear listener, ClockTower is intended for mature audiences and might be inappropriate or possibly triggering to some. Many of the themes and events in ClockTower are inspired by weird fiction as well as similar concepts, which means the show can get dark. If that isn't something you enjoy, please listen at your own discretion. We here at the ClockTower care about you, so please put your mental health first. Our show will be here when you're ready.
Welcome to Season 2 of ClockTower, a D&D 5e experience. To all our old and new listeners, we're excited to have you here with us. ClockTower is a D&D campaign turned audio drama, played with a custom class and a few house rules that we as a group collectively enjoy. If you find yourself getting a little lost, there's always older episodes to guide you back to the path. With all that said, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and welcome to the ClockTower. As all of you make your way through the strange, otherworldly dark forest, the trees stretching so far upward that they seem to disappear into the blackness that would be a sky, a dark, swirling void that outside of the light of Olm's lantern seems to be churning chaotically, making and unmaking itself. The same malicious darkness that usually resides within the door behind the wardrobe. But as you make your way through the dark forest more and more, you see a light through the trees. And the further you go towards that light, the more the trees become just that, trees. The dark, swirling void above you seems to disappear into what could more commonly be associated with the sky, although it isn't correct. There aren't stars. But that strange darkness seems to have gone. And the trees seem more like trees, or what one would assume these sort of tall, pine tree-like trees to look like. And when you do break out of the forest line, you see a campfire, a bonfire, with several people sitting around it that look, all of them, like they might have once been ClockTower agents. Some of them have pocket watches that are very clearly ClockTower pocket watches, and some of them have weapons, equipment, some of them don't. Some of them are still wearing their ClockTower garb and uniform. Other ones are wearing comfortable clothing. There are two girls sitting together. One of them is wearing a large, rough, knit, warm sweater, and the first man you saw, who's sitting sort of in the middle around this small group of people playing guitar, stops as the three of you walk up, and he looks at you and says, "Oh, welcome to Hayven." And you see the beautiful town sort of lit up behind him in the darkness. You can see strings of light on distant buildings, light shining through windows, and above the town itself, almost directly above the town, you do see stars, but there's something weird about them. You guys can give me a perception check if you want.
15.
6.
8.
The stars seem to fade out, Berret and Trinket, like a gradient. The further away you get from the town, the less visible the stars are. And Yeager, you realize it's because they're an illusion. The stars are being projected onto the sky, or like a sky. Strongest above the town, and they go out as you get to the edges of the town. It's hard to see a lot of the rest of the town. It is fairly large, not by any means a city, but on the larger end of a small town, big enough to have main street buildings that you can see roughly from here, and you can see down the sort of main road that this campfire, seems like this campfire area has like a little dirt road that leads to a main road, and in the distance you can see some kind of statue in what you assume to be a town square, and you can see left of the town there's a distant bridge that seems to cross some sort of river that runs through the center of town. And as the guy says, "Welcome to Hayven," what do you three do?
Yeager is going to stop and take a breath before looking around, and then putting on one hand almost like a 1 second please to the person who welcomed them, and then pulls out his pocket watch and looks at it.
As you look at your pocket watch, you see both hands are spinning at different speeds and in opposite directions, mimicking perfectly, as it does in the tower, the clock's face when you haven't started a mission yet.
Okay. It's fine. And with that, he sort of nods to himself and puts it back on his belt. And his first thought was worrying about Sam, but now that he feels like he's probably still in the tower and he has died here before, he's hoping so much that Sam is just going to meet them back in the tower when things return. Thank you for your welcome. Where is this? I'm sorry, this is our first time here, and...
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. Did Lucy send you? I can see by all of your faces that that's a no. Are you telling me you guys managed to find your way down here all on your own? I'm guessing due to that. And he sort of like nods over at Trinket's lantern. And he says, I ain't never seen a light like that one before. And then one of the girls who's sitting together is staring at it like it's horrible. The one wearing the sweater goes, I have. That's Olm in there. And then the other girl who's sitting with her, like, looks at her like, what? And then looks at the lantern and goes, oh. And, like, kind of, they, like, shy away from it a little bit. Like, they obviously had some sort of, like, bad experience. Everybody else around the campfire is like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
And Yeager looks at them and goes, oh, you too? Yeah, it's terrible.
The one in the sweater says, why did you bring that here? That got you through the forest?
It works.
You didn't need Lucy's light?
I don't know who Lucy is.
Who's Lucy?
Oh, and both, like, almost everybody at the campfire turns and looks at the guy with the guitar, and the guy at the guitar goes, it's not a secret. Calm down. Lucy is our founder's daughter. All of you would commonly more associate her with, the owl, though don't say that to her. You know what? You guys want a tour?
Yes.
All right.
Please.
He's like, and he like stands up, straps his guitar on his back, and there's something about him doing that motion, Berret, that makes you go like, fuck. It just like pings that, like pulls on a heartstring that you're like, You realize you didn't get to save Grin's guitar. That Grin still has his guitar, which is good for him, but it's gone.
It's gone.
Yeah. As he says, well, you guys can call me Mr. Gray, and then several people around the campfire snicker, just like a little laugh, and he goes, or Summer, if you want. I found out that it is commonly a girl's name, not that that should matter. And he like looks at everybody else, and one of the girls like nods, like, yeah, not that it should matter. Whichever you prefer, Summer, Gray. I guess I'm kind of in charge here now. My best friend founded this place. I met him here. Him and Lucy. I was the first person they brought to this town, and why don't you come with me? And he starts walking down the dirt road towards the main street of the town, where you can see all of the power lines and fairy lights lighting up the street. You can see lights from like windows illuminating the street, and it's just the entire town is sort of glowing with this like really welcoming warm light.
I'd imagine you guys have a pamphlet.
No, but that is a good idea. We don't really have a printing press. A lot of our signs and everything are hand painted, or a lot of our notes and receipts are handwritten. Coins does have a like a tiller machine, but it only does numbers, not letters.
I mean, you could always use numbers as letters, like...
Spell words with numbers?
Yeah.
And you must be better at reading than me. And he continues walking down the street.
Yeager like stops in the middle of the road. He's like stares for a second, like just sort of like his eyes just sort of pan up, like, oh my god.
Oh my god, it's happening.
Berret's just like quietly just giggling to himself.
And you see that the streets are kind of empty. It's pretty quiet. You assume that a lot of the lights are on in the stores, similar to like small towns that don't really turn their lights off, which also makes you kind of wonder, like, where's the fucking power coming from? But everybody seems like they might be asleep, might be pretty late at night, although Yeager, you looking up are like, the night is just a projection of stars.
It's not real night.
And then he takes you to the sort of center of this town. As much as it can be, there is like sort of two distinct parts of the main town. There's a main road that kind of meets at a bridge that crosses over like a loop. And the bridge goes over a like really fast running, like large stream, small river of like crystal fucking clear water. Like really nice. You can like feel the light spray when you're on the bridge, and you can see the like small spots of wetness on the wood of the bridge itself. And though it's not the center of the town, you assume it's where the biggest meeting spots are, because as he takes you there, in the middle of it, there is a statue of what appears to be a heavy-set, shorter ClockTower agent with like round glasses, and he's got his hand on a like small sculpture of like the statue has a small girl next to him that has her hair pulled back and has a small like holding a doll of an owl. And it says, "To our founder, friend, father, Casey, Hayven will always remember you." And he says, that's Casey and Lucy when she was a kid. She's all grown up now. She's a ClockTower agent now. Took her dad's watch. She like looks and gives Berret a nod, and she's like, decided to do the work herself. And I guess since all of you are new here, I should kind of explain how this works. When I got here, it was just a little shack made out of the wood of those trees. The real trees, not the when you go deep enough in and the trees become terrifyingly tall, go up into space. You know the ones you climb down?
The ladders, yeah.
Yeah. Not those trees, the real trees that surround this place.
Oh.
For a pretty big amount. They grow back really fast too. Everything grows really fast here, but there aren't any animals. There's like no creatures, no critters, no bugs, nothing. Except for us.
No bugs.
And when we came down here, it's nice, I'll tell you what, because I fucking been to some places and I hate bugs, especially mosquitoes. Especially mosquitoes.
You know, hornets. I fucking hate hornets.
I don't know what that is.
It's like a...
Good.
As he says, but you'll find a lot of that. A lot of ClockTower agents know a lot of things, a lot of them don't. I've only been on 12 missions.
They just kind of just stares at him like...
Yep, I've been on 12 missions and then I came here, but I've been running this town for longer than most ClockTower agents have been alive.
So, how did you exactly get an invitation so early in?
Well, Lucy found me. Lucy found me and brought me down here. I was one of the first people that she went and collected. Met her, Casey, and then we started grabbing more people. Started showing them that there was a better way to retire down here.
Do you just know when people quit?
No, that's the hard part.
Oh.
It's finding them, going on missions. Right now, Lucy is up in her tower, or what was once Casey's tower, and she's going on missions and trying to find as many people who want to quit as possible, and giving her light to them and guiding them down here. For a while, it was much easier. We had a tool, small hand mirror, that if you dropped a ClockTower coin into it, you could go to any world you'd been before. And we used that to get a lot of things. We used that to get animals for the ranch. We used it to get seeds for the farms. All kinds of things. Luckily, we're self-sufficient now that the mirror is gone, but it's harder to get new things down here ever since it has been gone.
Yeager like glances over at Trinket and goes, "Wait, didn't..."
Castell had a hand mirror.
Yeah.
Sounds a lot like what you're
Sounds
talking.
like the guy who stole it from Lucy. Did he wear like a ratty cloak?
Yeah, and use...
Yep.
Yeah. Use the sword, kind of a... You know what? Never mind. I'm trying
Path
to...
of the North, real angsty type.
Yeah, yes. I've been trying to be a better person, so I'm not going to say what I was going to say, but never mind. Never mind.
Berret just gives a little bit of side eye.
Lucy was gonna bring him down here, and he attacked her and took the mirror from her.
What do you think? We attacked him after he attacked us, and then he worked for Orm, and then we killed Orm, and we sealed Orm in the lantern, And then, well,
That lantern, the one that your friend
yeah,
has.
yeah.
Well, what happened to the mirror?
He still has a mirror.
The dude looks so disappointed.
Yeah.
He's just like,
To be fair, we were in the middle of fighting a god. We didn't really have time to give the mirror to us, blah, 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 blah. So.
We're a little bit more worried about the whole home situation.
Yeah.
don't worry, I understand. He puts his hands up as he goes, the tour.
Oh,
He
right, yes.
nods and says, over here, and he points to a very large building with neat outdoor seating, sort of patio area with awnings and a bunch of string lights strung up. And the doors are already open, and it seems like a saloon bar kind of building. And he says, that's the bar. Depending on what nights you go in, it's run by a couple different members of town here. There's a big man who works there. His name is Rook. He's a pretty good guy. He's kind of taller and built up, and he works with mountains a lot. She runs the bar. She's a shorter girl with blonde hair, and she really likes conversation, likes making and trying new drinks. And then sometimes there's Barry. He looks mean, but he's not. He's actually a sweetheart, big dude. Kind of get the idea of where he might have gotten his name from. Tends to be scarier to newcomers, but don't worry, he's not. He's really sweet. They take turns running it. Everybody wants to work the bar. Oh, right, money. I should give you all some money. As he reaches in his pocket, he's like, Tower doesn't give us anything down here, and none of you are Path of the East, right?
Yeager's face drops. He goes, I don't think I'll be here that long to need it.
All right, well, no rush if you're from the Tower, if you're not on a mission. It's not time is weird for us always. It's weirder even down here. Sometimes people age, sometimes they don't. I haven't aged a day. Casey got old. Kind of. Weird. It is weird. Don't really understand it. None of us really understand it. But what I do know is that some Path of the East have, we call them deep pockets. And it's kind of like reaching into the door behind your wardrobe. If you stick your hand in those deep pockets down here, you just get kind of waves his hands in front of his face, goes unmade, and back on the couch.
Yeah. Okay, so that's what happened to my friend Sam.
It already happened?
Sam, we were climbing down the tree.
He shakes his fist damn.
And Sam put the hand in the pocket and they gone.
Yeah, yep.
Okay, so
that happens.
When we get Sam next time and we come down, keep Sam's hands out of their pockets.
Yeah, don't if you've got deep pockets, don't do that.
Okay.
Anyway, this is the bar, saloon, whatever you want to call it. And it says bar over it, so you won't get confused. Over here's the general store. It has pretty much anything you could think of or want. He reaches in his pocket and he hands you guys. He holds out a small pile of iron coins that look all a little hand stamped, and he goes, "We like to have money around here because it feels more normal to buy something. But if you don't have any, there's a weekly allowance to everybody in town. Just come to town hall and get your allowance, and you get some money. You can go spend it on whatever, or you can open a store. As a lot of us have stores around here. Well, I don't, but I'm a lot of the time busy not as many new people tours now because there aren't that many people. But it's your first time in Hayven. Is there anything you guys like to do? I could show you. There's so much. It feels like it's hard for me to tell you everything. It might be easier to tell you something you might enjoy.
No offense, but how will we get back?
Oh, you just click your watch. People come and go from here all the time. You just need a way to get down here in the first place. There are people who've decided to stay here for the rest of it. And he looks around, and there's a guy in the distance sitting on one of the benches, just smoking. And he goes, or you could be Tony over there. And the guy just kind of looks up at you guys and gives you a stern nod. He looks like he is deep in contemplation, staring at the ground, and only looks up. Berret, you see that guy and you see the look in his eyes, and you're yeah, he's seen things. Yeah. He's been there. And he goes, Tony's retired 7 times. He's decided he's done with the tower. He's never going back. Keeps going back. I feel like some people just don't feel they have a choice, but you do. You could stay down here as much as you like. Used to be, when I gave the tour, I could say that if there's anything you ever wanted, anything or anybody from a different world, we can have Lucy take one of your clock tower coins and go back to that world and you can go get it. But we don't have the mirror anymore. So unfortunately that little feature of our quaint little town is no longer operable, but we are working on it. Not very well, but we are working on it.
Well, maybe we should go get our friend, guys. What do you think?
Yeah, I feel like Sam would really enjoy the tour, and could you save that? We'll be right back.
All right, sure. Yeah, well, hopefully I'll be here when you get back. I don't know.
Weird time.
Yeah, sometimes I talked to one agent, sweet girl. She and her whole team came down here, and then I woke up the next day and she came down here, and apparently over the years her team had all died, all gone, all quit on different worlds, as things go. But for me, it was one day, and then there was another guy. He came back and took like years in between, but for him, it was only a couple of minutes. So he gives you a big shrug. He's like, I don't really know how any of it works, but like I said, people come through here all the time. He shrugs again, like, don't know how it works.
Oh,
all right.
But you're always free to leave. You're always free to come back.
Okay. One last question before we do click the Poké Watch. What is past this place? Because there's here. We got here. This is fantastic. But where is the way forward?
Forward?
Forward. Can't just be this. This has to be more. Yeah.
He looks down and thinks about it for a second, like he's going to say something else, and then he says, this could be it. You could just stay here. It's paradise. It is, for us ClockTower agents, it's a way for us to quit without having to quit, without having to lose all of your memories, all the things you've seen, in a community of people who know what it's like to be you, who know what it's like to be the kind of people we are, the things we've had to do, the things we've seen. I don't know if you know what this is, but there's a support group on Thursdays. We have a calendar. It helps things feel more normal. Mm-hmm. For a support group for anybody who was in the Harvest Wars. So
I'd like to roll insight.
Sure.
10.
Even with a 10, this guy's a bad liar, and you can tell there's something else he's not telling you. He's not lying about everything he's telling you, but there is something else he's not telling you.
Like I said before, I'm trying to be a better person in general. I promised someone that I'd find them, and on the way to them, I ended up here. So I personally need to know how to go forward, if you don't mind.
All right, come follow me for a minute. Then you guys can go back to your tower, get your friend. Takes you into the other building. If the bar is on one corner of this sort of town square, and the general store is right across from it, across the street, and the statue is in the middle of the square between them, on the other side of both of them, in sort of the triangle of that street formation, there's Town Hall. Big steps, big, like sort of small town vibes, Town Hall building. And he goes in, and he takes you up a small flight of stairs up to the second floor through a couple of double doors that he unlocks. And in there is a big map spread out on a big table. You see kind of a hand-painted aerial view of the area of Hayven drawn out on the board. And you can see the forest line of the spooky forest that you guys came from. You see Hayven, which is almost like centered with the river splitting it, and then roads that go north and south in either direction to a sort of large southern farm that has a vineyard in it, and a large northern farm that seems to have a bunch of, it says ranch, farm, and then farm, vineyard in the southern and northern parts, up roads, and then there's a bunch of small individual homesteads, all spread out, which you assume are from people who don't want to live just in the city or at the main part of Hayven, to have their own quiet space. And there's tons of room left between the open space of what you guys are assuming is Hayven and the forest line. And it seems like you guys came out of the forest line that was closest to the town, where they've built a little fire, which it seems is where most people come from. However, the stream, the river that cuts through this town, meets up with a much larger river that comes from the sort of mountain that is in the distance of the town's view, that the town is sort of backed up against. And that river, there's nothing marked beyond. It's just completely black, and that river is marked with like this big, like hard red line border.
So is it upriver or downriver?
The river is the border.
Oh, okay.
The big river is the border, not the one that separates the town. There's two rivers that connect at one point. Their river with the crystal clear water meets this red line river, and he points to that river and he says, "This here is the river. It's wide, can't jump across it. Building a bridge would be very dangerous. The ground on either side of its banks, very soft. You can slip into the river real easily, and it will sweep you down. And even if you do get down, even if you do get through this river, if you can get in, it's almost unswimmable across. And the people who come out, well, it's like the river's water has blinded them. That sort of murky brown color of the water is, it's like their eyes are just that color, and they're crying the river out of their eyes. They stumble around, mumbling, blind, horribly upset, screaming. Eventually they either fall over and die, and they don't get back up. Their watch just breaks. Or they go into the river and they get swept down, stumbling into it blindly, and then we never see them again. The river is a hard stop. We don't know what's past it. We've never been past it. Never had a reason to go over there. Our river goes over a little tiny waterfall, meets up with that river. Our water's safe to drink. That river water is not.
Have you guys tried going upriver?
Goes to the mountains. Mountains are impassable. Goes to the woods on our side, trying to go around. If you go deep enough into the woods, you get lost. Come out at Hayven again. So if you're looking for somebody, you're either not going past this point, or you need to find a way to get across that river, and or somebody fed you some bad information, whatever path you're on.
Well, it was the owl, to be fair.
You know, used to hear that the owl was nice. Not the reports I've been getting recently.
I'm trying to save the owl from another place.
Oh, don't. Believe me, I get it. I love Lucy like she was my own daughter. But like, Lucy will tell you that don't even mention the owl around Lucy. And if you ever do meet her, don't keep your ClockTower coins in your pocket. Do not give them to her. Do not even have her look at them. Or you're going to have to deal with her, not me.
All right, Mr. Summer, I think it's about time we head on back. I think we need to get our whole party together.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, thank you. Hopefully we see you again.
You're always welcome here.
All right. As I turn my back to him and pull out my pocket watch and look at the rest of the party.
And Berret, as you see down one of the streets, as you look back at the group, you see a big sign across one of the buildings that says library.
Oh, we're coming back. Click.
And you guys feel a crushing wave that returns you to the clock tower. But while you guys were in Hayven, Sam, you wake up on the couch in the clock tower, completely alone.
Gas?
Your voice echoes around the large, mostly wooden room.
Oh. Well,
And the lantern isn't on the table.
Hey, Sam.
Neither are the bullets.
Well, I think I knew that, but
The box is there, but like half of them are missing.
are there any left?
Yeah, a couple of them.
Sam's eyes like track to the dangerous things table, tracks to the eye, tracks away from the eye.
Yeah, the eye, when you like look at the eye for a second, you get the same feeling as if you just made awkward eye contact with somebody who like looked back at you.
Oh, shit. All right, let's try to get down there then. Sam like hops up, slaps their knees,
You see the open door and the spooky shadows beyond it.
I can figure this out. I can figure this out. Sam's going to pull one of the bullets out of the box, kind of hold it in their hand and like tap it into their temple and be like, what have I seen about gates and getting through impassable areas? He's going to go through the library and just start grabbing books, being like on passageways, on any magic that goes from transversal between one place to the other, and just start making a little pile next to the spooky wardrobe.
Okay. You start piling up research material. You kind of get zoned out into the task of like collecting knowledge. And at some point you like look at the stack, you're like, I should really read any of this.
Some of this. Like it starts with like one focus. And also this. Well, that would kind of be useful, but maybe this as well.
Yeah, and as you look at it, you're like, oh, this is a very overwhelming project now. You're like, this project has gotten very large.
In the last mission we were on, I recorded down in my notebook the gate runes that opened that portal. Mm-hmm. And I would like to, pulling out pieces of paper from a notebook, form a rough semicircle, put the bullet in the middle, and draw those gate runes.
Okay. You start writing on the pieces of paper, put the bullet in the middle, and then like in the fucking dead silence of the clock tower, you can just hear like your own fucking
Heartbeat
thoughts,
and
your
ticking.
heartbeat. You can hear the whirring of the clock face, and then you hear something hit the ground. A small like and a rolling.
Timmy stops, glances at the couch, like hopefully,
There's nothing on the couch.
tracks over the shoulder to the table.
You see that there is a decided lack of something of a small eye dimension on the table.
Well, that's creepy. Actually, wait a minute. Wait. No, don't do that. That'd be a terrible idea. Focus on your task. It's fine. It's an eye. Don't think it can hurt me.
You see it roll like from under the table, like it had fallen off to one side and had just was rolling underneath it while you were looking, and then rolls that way like it's rolling towards the mirror.
Sam very quickly like, no, and using a book and like tap it away from the mirror. No. I'm gonna make for a triangle and put it in the center of the triangle of books so it can't go over the lip.
Okay. You just like you build a little book prison around.
I
the
build
eye
a
of the
baby
owl
jail for it. Yes.
on the floor.
I'm sorry. I just need you to stay here for a minute.
It seems like it's looking at you.
Listen, if you were any other place, I would toss you a coin, even though we apparently have a bad relationship, and I'd ask some advice on this. But I really don't want to see what happens if I do that in here. So, just vibe, please. Go back to the inscribing things on the pieces of notepaper.
You go back to the paper, you start to write things down, you look at your note paper and you see that like half of the papers have like put themselves back to where they go, and then you turn around and you go, wait, and you look and all the books are back to where they're supposed to be. You see the eye just like rolling on the ground.
Sam goes back, does the same thing, and then like loudly states, puts the book there, taps it, leaves it alone, taps it, leaves it alone, taps it, leaves it alone. I am putting this here with a very distinct purpose. Please.
Your words echo around the clock tower like
Sam even like looks up at the gear, like he's like, please, please, and like looks up, looks down, looks up. I'm also going to put some paper down and write some stuff on it. I would also like that to stay there, unless you can give me a sign and like change the words and shit. He just like rips a piece of paper, sets it down, draws a rune. This is staying here, please. Next thing, checks the eye.
you look back, and the books are still around the eye. They have not moved this time. You look back, all of your paper is gone, all of it.
Well, thank you for that. Wait, does this... Wait. Okay, I'm gonna try an experiment here. I guess please work with me. I'm gonna put down two pieces of paper. One will say yes and one will say no. Wait, that doesn't make sense. Well, okay, if you can hear me, just take the no paper. If you're just an automatic system, take both. Writes down the yes paper, sets it down. Writes down the no paper, sets it down. If you understand, looks at the eye again.
You put down both pieces of paper. You look away.
Mm-hmm.
You look back. The yes paper is gone.
So you can hear me, but you're just mildly difficult. Okay.
You look back. The no paper is gone.
Did it disappear in front of my eyes?
No.
Oh, I looked up.
You looked up. You were like,
Yeah.
you're just mildly difficult. You look down. The other paper is gone.
So no, you're not mildly difficult? Wait, I need more paper. All right, here's how this is going to work. I'm going to put down 24 pieces of paper with the letters of the alphabet. Just take down the first letter and wait, and then I'll write it down end of this piece of paper, and then we'll just spell out a word. I really hope, well, you should be able to know how to spell. You do yes and no. All right, let's do this. Slowly, meticulously puts down A, go all the way through Z.
Are you putting them all down at once while looking at them, or
Yes.
are you okay?
So
Like,
it's the full array, right? It's the full 24 characters with the intention of to remove, like, look away for one moment, look back, and to remove one character at a time. Well, that's what the proposition is.
You look back, you look away, and 6 characters are missing.
Okay. Which 6 characters?
E H L O T W. They're all gone at the same time.
Yeah. I realized I didn't write down multiple of a symbol, so some things might be harder. The owl looks back to the eye in the eye prison.
You look back to the eye, and the books are gone. The eye is still there.
All right. Well, I'm gonna put these books back.
Everything's put away.
I can't. Well, all right. Like using Sam's own notebook, he's gonna like tap it gently back to the table. Right, and be like, I don't want to touch this, but I probably should, at least maybe. I'm gonna spitball here. Do you not want it here? Is that what you're trying to push it out at the mirror, or is that its own doing? Now that you can make a sign. All right. Pulls a piece of paper from their own notebook and writes down, tears it in half, no. Puts down, if you want the owl gone, just tell me. And like drops both pieces of paper, looks at the eye, looks back.
You see the paper with no on it is gone.
All right. Picks up the yes paper, tears that in half, and then writes no again. Do you want it through the mirror? Drops it, looks at the owl, looks back.
Wait, so you tore the yes paper in half?
Well,
because it was just a paper that said yes.
Yeah.
So you're putting like one down for yes and one down for no again?
Yeah. One has Y and then one has the S for no.
The no paper is gone again.
So you want it through the mirror. All right. Well, fuck. This makes sense. I really hope this doesn't kill me when I pick this up. Sam goes over and grabs the owl eye.
You pick it up. Wisdom save.
6.
You pick it up. Nothing happens.
Oh. So,
Then you hear a voice from above you go, "This is nice."
what?
You look up, and on the second tier of bookshelf balconies, there is a person who is like tall and thin with sharp, like slightly sharper features than usual aspects of the owl, almost in like a more sinister way. And their eyes are that same sort of like nebulous void of space that's like cracking all around them, and the blue hair that you see immediately as it go. Not quite as organized as I have heard that it once was, but it's not bad.
Oh, yeah, no. Sam, like, fucking yeets that shit to the mirror as fast as possible.
Just like, are you throwing it at the mirror?
I think it was more of a, not a to shatter the mirror, but like a light toss of like, no.
Roll a strength check.
I'm bad at those.
It's good for you.
10.
You go, yeah! You throw the eye of the owl.
Like
and
impulse.
then you hear it hit the mirror, and you hear, like, you know when you drop a glass?
Ooh.
And you hear that sound of you're like, oh, it's gonna break! It's gonna break! And it like reverberates like it's gonna break. You hear that sound reverberate, and then the mirror just doesn't break quite, but it like, and you see the owl eye go and roll under the couch.
Can I still see the owl figure?
No.
Okay. Sounds like check the mirror and be like, look for that imperceptible hairline fracture.
You're just looking at it like
please, 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 please.
You are like looking in the mirror, and it's one of those things where you don't think about it, and for the first time in like ever, you're like, oh, it's me. Like, because usually you go through the mirror, but as you're like getting really close, you're like looking eye to eye with yourself, and you like almost for the first time see the color of your eyes.
They like make some funny expressions at themselves. Like, meh. Oh, is that what I look when I scrunch my face? Huh. After the paper thing, I'm gonna assume you want this like, just, well, I probably shouldn't start a mission. I guess I just wait for them here, but I have to, guys, please come back already. Sam's gonna like go over to the couch and like lean down, like try to grab your hand.
You like, are you gonna look under the couch?
Yeah.
There's somebody like under the couch looking right at you, and then like obviously that scares your soul out of your body. And then you see they're gone. Like it was like they weren't ever there.
Am I haunted now? Why did you make me pick this up? I thought you were my friend.
And you do see like right where that person's like eye would have been, it's just the owl's eye on the ground under the couch.
Does my pipe like thin enough to fit under the table?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Under the couch.
Yeah, under the couch.
You could reach your arm under there.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the couch is lifted on like ornate feet.
Okay.
So like, it's like
It has good clearance.
it has pretty good clearance. It's not like low to the ground at all.
I'm gonna do like a quick, almost like a ping pong tapping, scooping motion to like tap it to roll to my hand,
Okay.
and I guess grab it again.
Roll wisdom save.
6.
You like grab it, and you notice that there's like shoes next to you, like someone's sitting on the couch.
So I assume I should turn on the mirror then to get you out of here.
I didn't say anything about wanting to leave. Do you want to leave, Sam? And like you see the owl is like leaning over the couch, like looking at you on the ground.
Well,
It's rather unhelpful, isn't it? Difficult, even, one might say.
don't know about leaving the tower. I think it'd be awfully rude if my friends are ever coming.
Oh, because you
Back.
mean because they left you again.
Kind of my own fault in this one.
Right. Like Duran was your fault as well. Everything that happened to Lily.
Listen, that's Yeager's quest. I forgave myself for that.
Well, I'm glad that you can forgive yourself for sacrificing me.
Yep.
They look at you with like a dangerous anger.
You want a tour?
I'd love one. Show me
What?
everything.
Well, I don't know the half of it, so... Oh, actually, I have a... If you feel like I'm not... Well,
Are you gonna get up off the ground at any point?
for right now, I'm just vibing here.
So they're just like laying on their back looking at the owl with the thing in their hand, just like crossed over their chest like,
There's a bullet, I think, to my right-ish. And some runes.
You wanna know how to use those?
I assume you know? Well, that's a silly assumption.
The owl like smiles at you with like the smile of a card shark and says, Sam, there isn't anything that I can't tell you.
So I've heard.
Maybe we got off on the wrong foot. I'm Lo.
Nice to meet you. I'm Sam.
A tour, I believe it was.
Yeah, a tour.
They hold out their hand to you.
Sam makes the air motion of like, the closed fist of like, I appreciate the offer, but I can't take it.
Oh.
And then gets themselves up. You like books?
So the books are the first thing you want to show me? Do
Yeah.
you like books?
More what they give me.
I can give you so much more than books, Sam.
But can you write it down?
You can.
Sam like walks towards the bookcases.
They're still sitting on the couch. They have like not gotten up. As you walk to the bookcase, they like put their arm over the back of the couch and like lean over looking at you as they say, almost like rolling their eyes, what was it that the tower did for you to make you so loyal to it and skeptical of me?
I think honestly speaking, it's the fact that when you have uncertainty versus a known certainty. The uncertainty has been vaguely helpful, and the known certainty has been not unwarrantedly more hostile.
You think the tower is certain that it sends you, what, to places you want to go? Did you want to go to a bowling alley that dripped sludge all over you?
I'm surprised you could say that.
There isn't anything that happens in any of these worlds that you don't go to that I, by definition of this sentence, am not required to know.
So it is a requirement, not like you get a choice in the matter. You can't tune into certain things.
I have never had a choice in the entirety of my existence that I did not forge for myself. Kind of like you.
Yeah, friends are nice. Friends help that.
And what would your friends think about you talking to me? And then the tower chimes so loud that it floors you. Roll a dexterity check to keep holding on to the eye of the owl.
5.
It hits the ground and starts rolling away as the image of the owl disappears. And then in a second, you're on the couch and the others are back with you.
Sam, how long were we gone for?
Hey, it's me, Ellie again. This is one of those outros where I don't really have a lot to update everyone on. Production of the show is going well, and we're really excited to keep bringing it to everyone still. So, instead, I'd like to take time to give some extra special thank yous to everyone who works so hard to make the show great. Thank you to Cal, working tons of hours, editing down every episode, and working with Ender to create extra music for the show. Thank you to Who's for their continued support, even though they've got a busy music career going on. Thank you to the main cast, Bink, Cal, Kball, and Trent, for making the show something I'm really proud to call ours. Thank you to everyone who has ever guest starred on the show, and thank you to everyone who's ever helped donate their ideas and their creativity to the ever-expanding universe of ClockTower. And thank you so much to everyone who supports us on Patreon. Your support is the reason we're still going. So thank you to everyone. And now, on to credits, some of which might feel a little redundant, but I'm doing it anyway. If you would like to work with us or collaborate with us in any way, contact us through our website, ClockTowerAgent.com. Berret was played by Bink, Sam was played by Cal, Trinket was played by Kball, Yeager was played by Trent, and I, Ellinthris, was your DM. The voice of our disclaimer is Valak Donahue. You can check out all of his work at patreon.com/themadlanddreamer. All music from Season 1 of ClockTower and additional music for this arc was created by Who's Music. If you would like your own D&D music commissioned, you can contact them and find all of their work through their website, whosisthis.com, or find it in the description below. Thanks, Who's! Additional music and FX provided by Andrew Smith and Cal. Thank you to our editing team and Cal for making the episodes what they are. Thank you to our sponsor, Alpha Lupine Images, for donating the equipment to help us make more content with better quality. The ClockTower test on our website was programmed by LeMay. You can find out more of his work at thinklikemike.com. Thank you to everyone who supports us on Patreon, and thank you again for listening. ClockTower Season 2, Episode 43, will be out for all of our early episode patrons on November 22nd, and will release publicly on November 29th. Until then, time's ticking. See you in the ClockTower.